to address any subject that the council has concerns over or interest in. And your time will start when you get started. So,
thank you. I would like to read a statement prepared by Yule Lee.
Sure.
She lives at 22483 Ridge Circle, Lewis, and she writes, I am submitting this written statement to be read due to a medical procedure preventing my presence in the council chambers this morning. During the primary campaign, the public's longtime suspicion surfaced in plain view, the financial conflict of interest. The state's Title 29, Chapter 58, contains the code for the state employees and local governments that do not have their own code. I believe it would be best for the county to put this issue to rest by adopting its own code of ethics and disclosure requirements, which can be easily understood by the employees, officials, and the public, accompanied by the mechanism to enforce it. Before commissioning County Council to draft a proposal, the Council may form a working group, or, considering the urgency of this matter, the Council may request comments from the public for a specific period. Through change.org and the Sussex 2030 website, we have collected 450 plus signatures on a petition calling for integrity, transparency, and ethical standards in Sussex County. We will leave the petition open until this initiative moves forward by this council and is adopted. Thank you very much for your time and service, Yule Lee. Would you like me to read the petition contents?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
If you want to give us a copy of that, you can give it to the clerk.
Yes.
Okay, that'll be fine. Thank you.
May I also read my own statement?
Sure.
Thank you. As a concerned citizen, by the way, my name is Jill Hicks, 37 Aintree Drive, Lewis. As a concerned resident of Sussex County, I would like to go on record stating that we need to adopt a code of ethics and rules regarding conflicts of interest stronger and more relevant than what is required by the Delaware State Code, Title 29, Chapter 58. Both Newcastle and Kent counties have done so, as recommended by the state. To increase trust and confidence that the decisions made by our government are fair, thoughtful, and in the public interest, I believe it would serve the Sussex County Council well to do likewise. Members of the Council and Commission should sign the code and provide financial disclosure annually. Additionally, we, the public, are instructed at each meeting on how to conduct ourselves in this chamber, in this public forum. All of us should be held to that standard. We only ask what is best for you and everyone you serve. I thank you for your time and for your service.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I will
you.
leave these copies.
Sure, please do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else in the audience want to speak? Ma'am? Sure, you can come on down. Come on. You both could speak.
This person was a good follow-up. My name is Judy Zoller Hartzell. I live at 34918 Holly Drive in a community called West Bay. And I also have a couple of concerns that I wanted to bring up. Some may call it noise, but I call it concern from the citizens of Sussex County that question the ethical standards of or conflict of interest rules for the state of Delaware and whether they are followed. Do commissioners and its appointees file conflict of interest statements with the state of Delaware, or does Sussex County have their own ethic commissions like those of Newcastle County? Due to the recent election of the Republican Commissioner of Sussex County, the citizens of Sussex County have doubts of the integrity of its members in regard to outside dealings with contractors that work for approved developments by the PNC board. They include ownership, either fully in part of companies that do work for said approval developments, have family members that are involved with real estate of houses and approved developments, accepted of gifts from developers or its contractors for the developments that have been approved by either the P&Z or the commission boards. It is the utmost importance that the citizens have the confidence of their elected officials and its appointees, that they personally do not gain from the approval of the developments that sit before them. The second concern I have in particular is outrage by citizens that the groundwater of Sussex County, especially in sensitive areas around waterways, are being compromised due to the practice by developers, contractors. For instance, a process called dewatering and clear cutting. I live by a development that has not started called Terrapin Island. I have personally seen this land flooded all the way up and over Camp Arrowhead Road due to nor'easters. In my community, we are outright concerned with the practice of dewatering since the land sits 1 foot above the water levels and faces Rehoboth Bay. It is too late to reverse the inevitable, but want the commissioners to consider hiring experts in the field to research the credentials of signatures on the submitted package to develop land. It appears that construction practices near waterways are not studied or signed off by competent professionals in the packet. I get that there are time frames and staffing issues with submittal of development practice. There should be oversight. But first, the professional have the credentials, and secondly, the development to be supervised by the county, and that the construction companies are following layout information as set forth in the packet in regards to the buffers, building processes that could impact relatively.
If you could kind of close it up, please. You're past your 3 minutes. If you could kind of close up on your statement.
Okay. You're in charge of protecting the citizens of Sussex County, and we rely on you as our elected officials to carry out the promised oath.
Thank you. If you want to leave a copy of that with the clerk, you can certainly do that. Ma'am, you're next.
Good morning. My name is Carol Conroy, and I live on Swanndale Avenue in Lewis. I'm here to talk about a code of conduct or code of ethics. The reality here in Sussex County is that a great number of people who have appointed positions are pretty much on their own to decide what is right and what is wrong. I know that you who have elective office are subject to certain state level requirements that have to do with disclosure. And that is good, but it leaves everybody else, including all the employees, not just the appointed persons, to decide what is right and what is wrong. And that simply is not adequate. It might be as simple as looking at the codes that the other 2 counties in Delaware have enacted to see how they might be adapted to Sussex County. My guess is it won't be that easy. So I'm going to, like my associates, urge that you set up a working group of people who are knowledgeable to decide what disclosure requirements are needed and who should be subject to them, then to define and describe a conflict of interest, and probably also a code of what is inappropriate conduct, what will be considered inappropriate. Again, the whole idea is not to leave employees and appointees on their own to decide these matters. Finally, you will need to discuss and decide on what are appropriate procedures and an entity who will investigate complaints and decide on the remedy, which could include anything from restitution or resignations to criminal conduct, actually. And then finally, you need protections for complainants. They may be employees of the county who complain, and they will need your protection. So anyway, I urge you to think about this. And right now, I mean, the county government is going to expand as the population expands. So it's really important now to set out rules and procedures, not only that the county employees and appointees see and understand, but also the public at large. We should be able to find them, and I couldn't on the county website. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Anybody else in the audience want to speak? Anybody else? Operator, would you check online, please?
If anyone has joined the conference line and would like to make a public comment, please dial 5*. We have Janet on the line. Janet, please state your full name and address before making your comment.
Good morning. My name is Janet Digabel, L-E space capital D-I-G-A-B-E-L. I've lived in Delaware for 30-plus years and Sussex County for 29 years. I live on Round Pole Bridge Road in Milton. I believe we have a problem with developers taking advantage of the most recently adopted comprehensive plan, specifically in relation to contiguous open space. I believe the designers of the ordinance had in mind that contiguous open space would be people-friendly, such as parks, walking trails, picnic areas, and woods. Some of these developments have 10-plus retention ponds. Birds cannot live, squirrels, rabbits, all have nowhere to roam. Some of these developments have 10-plus retention ponds up to 13. I would like County Council to revisit this part of the ordinance and not include retention ponds in the AR1 calculation of open space. And I would hope that County Council can change this in the most recent comprehensive plan promptly. The developers have taken the comprehensive plan and stretched it so thin that we won't have any trees, the wildlife has nowhere to roam, nowhere to live, and we're just going to have a concrete jungle down here in Sussex County. I also want to state that I agree with the last three speakers that we do need a code of ethics for everyone on the planning and zoning and everyone on the commission so that there is no conflict of interest. And we do need whistleblower protection so that if an employee brings to attention any wrongdoing, that employee is protected. Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
At this time, there is currently no